Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be filming with the very highly anticipated, very highly talked about, sought after Plouise palette. This palette is not on sale yet, but I was very lucky to be invited over to the Plouise launch event for this palette, and yeah, I got my hands on it. So if you're a US follower watching this, you might be a little bit like, what's going on? But basically, Plouise Makeup Academy has a huge makeup following in the UK and Ireland, and to be honest, they're actually very widely known, but their main base would be, say, in the UK and Ireland. And they've come out with a palette. If you follow her, then you know, and if you're not following her, then what are you doing with your life? But yeah, me and Paige Louise have been following each other for a while, and I was very lucky to be invited over. So this is the palette here, very colourful, very Plouise. I have had a play around with this palette already. I do have a few thoughts on it, so yes, let's jump in and see what we can create today. Sorry about that. The rest of the world is obsessed with The Greatest Showman, and I am no exception to that. So in proper Plouise fashion, I'm going to be using a base and I'm not going to be setting it. They're actually the ones I believe that really brought that kind of no setting your eyeshadow base in. Now I know Plouise is actually coming out with her own base, which isn't out yet, but what she would have used is MAC Select Cover Up. That's being discontinued. She told us that that was being discontinued, and she is now bringing out her own base, which I do not have yet, obviously, because it's not out yet. So today I'm going to be using the Keilidh Cosmetics Stage Eyeshadow Primer base. A lot of the UK artists use this base as well. So I've already applied a light bit of concealer over my lid just to kind of carve out my brows and whatnot, but I'm just taking a tiny dot of this mirror, where's my mirror? And I'm just gonna apply that all over the lid. The reason why they don't set their base is because the eyeshadows come out a lot more pigmented. It makes sense, like if you pack a load of cream or white eyeshadow onto your lid, every eyeshadow that's gonna go on top of that is gonna be mixed with it and more diluted, basically. Might make it a little bit harder to blend, but it just depends on what eyeshadows you're working with, to be honest. Take the shade Print from the Plouise palette and a flat concealer brush and just highlight my brow bone. So I'm gonna go through the shades as I go through I can't speak. This one is obviously the like highlight in the palette. They've got two shimmery shades. Slay is more of like a pinky undertone, and this one kind of has like a greeny, I don't know, whenever I look at it I see green, whitey kind of shade, but there is like a hint of green. It doesn't look green whenever you use it, but when you look at it in the pan, there's like a hint of a green undertone. I like to do this first because then I find like all your eyeshadows blend into it nicely. Like if you do it last, you can kind of cover up your transition shade and the blend that you had going on. Now the consistency of each of these eyeshadows is all different. Like I said, I have had to play around with it, so I know how each eyeshadow kind of works at this stage. So it's not a first impressions, this is a review. So as you guys know, I don't like going in with like my first shade because I spend so much time trying to build it up, but it just gets covered. So what I'm going to do is go in with a very prominent shade in this look, which is Sunkist, this orange shade here. Now what Plouise wanted with this palette was she didn't want eyeshadows that you're going to have to, you know, dig into. She wanted eyeshadows that you literally just have to press and the pigment is there, and that's exactly what this is. That's what I prefer to work with as well. You guys know I don't like whipping up sandstorms with eyeshadow. I literally like to just dip in, kind of build my way up. So I'm just taking my Inglot 48 SS brush for this, and I'm really using this shade Sunkist just to build up the shape that I want. Like, do you see already? Like, crap pigmented it is. I'm not focusing this onto the outer corner, I'm more so putting it into the crease. If I was to cover this whole area, whenever I try to add darker colours later on, the darker colours aren't going to stick to that area as well because they've been so powdered down with your previous eyeshadows. Does that make sense? Like, I'm just focusing the colour right into the crease area. Just working with the shadow and kind of blending it out, creating the shape that I want. See what I mean? I'm not like bringing the eyeshadows here because that's where the darker eyeshadows are going to sit, and I don't want to make it iffy and weird. Blend that out. I'm taking a shade Plouise. I want to say mustard because it's not mustard, but it's like a hint of mustardy yellow. I'm taking that on my Rebel Luna R21 brush and blending the very edges. Do you see why I didn't bring the orange up too high? Because I knew it was going to be slotting in the yellow. This eyeshadow is super pigmented, so just be very, very careful. Switching up my brush to the xoxo SE202 brush. A little bit smaller and more condensed than the Inglot 48SS. And this is where I kind of change up what I like to do. So I'm going to go straight in with the darker shade, which is called Bestie. Eyeshadow has a lot more kickback than the other eyeshadows, but when I say you need to use the tiniest amount of it, I mean the teeniest, tiniest amount. I cannot stress that enough. If you use too much, you're going to get fallout. And you need to use it on a smaller brush like this. That is a little bit more condensed. If you use it on a fluffy brush, it's going to go everywhere. So the reason why I want to take this shade first before I implement like my darker reds and whatnot is because, again, I wanted to really stick to this outer corner, so I wanted to have a sticky base. So I'm taking the tiniest amount of that. Like, do you see how pigmented that is? Blending that up into the crease also. So this is going to look harsh and messy until we blend the edges, but I just really want to kind of pack it onto that area first. Then to blend the edges of that, taking my Inglot 48SS brush, and I'm going to use these three shades here, so these kind of like ready tones. I'm kind of just mixing and matching in between them all. I love mixing eyeshadows together. And we're just going to blend the edges of that and kind of really bring in those warm tones. And again, going back in with the orange then to blend that out. It is going to look messy until we cut our crease, which is what we're going to do now. So I'm just taking the same Helene base and a smidge of Inglot Stirline on my Inglot lip brush and just carving out that crease. Just taking whatever's left on my brush then and just kind of blending the edges. Set the lid. I'm taking a mixture of Charm and Trip In on a flat concealer brush. So I'm just setting this area here. I'm not setting this because we're going to be doing something fun with it. Taking a little bullet brush, and I'm actually going to start smoking out the colours like you could see on this side. This type of smoky colourful liner, I think it was inspired by Plouise. Just decided to put my take on it. Then taking a small little 13p brush from Inglot and some of the Bestie, the darker shade, and I'm just going to really work that into the lash line now. What goes up must come down, so everything I'm using on top I'm just going to use underneath. Gonna pop 03 brown kohl pencil. Nope, I'm not, that's incorrect. I'm going to take this Inglot black kohl pencil and run it into my waterline and lash line. For my inner corner highlight, I'm going to take a mixture of Prin and Slay. Dish top. Super bright as you can see. Be nice. And just because I've been on like a bit of a glitter run recently, I've been putting glitter everywhere. Okay, not everywhere, that sounds really creepy, but the Stila Magnificent Metal in Golden Goddess. My teeny little paintbrush from the art shop. You guys already know, it costs like $2.50 and it's the best liner brush ever. Once I get to the inner corner, I'm just gonna like wiggle my brush. I'm just gonna fade the glitter out. Gonna bring it onto the little tear duct area also. Just cause why not? I'm bringing it up in here slightly also. Then just to apply some mascara and lashes. The lashes I decided to go for today were xoxo Keilidh, just because they're quite like gappy, and I like that. That means you're going to be able to see the glitter, you're going to be able to see the colours and whatnot. Know what I mean? You picking up what I'm putting down? Lol, I have to show you this. I just tried to put a little bit of dry shampoo in my hair and this is what happened. It's in my eyelashes, it's all over my forehead, it's in my eyebrows. Lovely. Okay, crisis averted. That was actually very easy to get off. It was just sitting on top of my face, so I just had to brush it slightly. Hairline here is a little bit white, but we'll just ignore. Alright, ignore. God, that was very bad. I actually feel personally victimized by that dry shampoo. My God. Up on my lips, I just have Inglot 63 lip liner, Fleet Cosmetics Charlotte lip stick, and Dusk Colors Undressed lip gloss on top because my lips were dry AF. I thought I did them on camera, but I didn't do it on camera because it wasn't filming. So that's what I'm wearing on my lips. For my skin then, I'm just going to finish off with a little bit more bronzer. This is the Be Bold bronzing kit. Dupe for MAC Give Me Sun. Lord knows us Irish people need it. The blusher is Milani, as usual. Oh my god, my blush face is hilarious. I don't like smiling like that. I like to... I'm going to take my usual highlighter combo, Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop first. And then some Ofra Cosmetics with Nikki Tutorials Glazed Donut. I'm obsessed with using this highlighter just on like the highest points of my face. If you've watched my videos, then you know. Look at that, like that is blinding. It is very pale, so it is like perfect for all us pasty girls out there, but when I am wearing tan and that, I like to just pop it right over where my blush is. Just setting my face with the Morphe Prep and Set as usual. Sticking my hopes. And that there is the finished look. But there's still dry shampoo in my eyelashes. So that there's the finished look using the new Plouise palette. This here is the palette, as you can see. It's going to be retailing for £40. There is 12 eyeshadows in it, so that works out at just over £3 each for each eyeshadow. Now, as far as I know, this is not the actual palette that is going to be sold. The actual palette that is going to be sold is going to have a mirror. I presume it's going to be able to close properly. This doesn't have magnetics in it, so it kind of just leaves open like that. But the one that's actually being sold, I think, is going to have a mirror. This is the exclusive palette that was given to everyone at the Manchester event. So this was exclusive first palette made for the Manchester event, and then I think the ones that are actually being sold, like I said, are going to have a mirror and whatnot. Yeah, so there is a little bit of kickback with the eyeshadows, but again, that doesn't bother me. I know some people get annoyed by that, but I don't get annoyed by that. The consistency in the eyeshadows are different. But once you have a little play around with them, you kind of know which ones to kind of go in a little bit more with and which ones not to. The ones that you kind of need to work a little bit more with are the reddy shades, but that's standard if I'm honest. I have not come across like a red shade that doesn't need a little bit of work. It's because of the ingredients that are put into the eyeshadows to make the red. It's a little bit different than the other eyeshadows, so you do need to work a little bit more with those eyeshadows. Again, not a big issue. They blend perfectly, the blend's amazing. I did a brown smoky eye yesterday just using latte all over the lid, and it was gorgeous. It looked like I had about 4 or 5 eyeshadows on and I just had the one brown. But yeah, I'm super impressed with these eyeshadows. It's doing exactly what Plouise wanted. You only need to use the tiniest amount of each eyeshadow to get an amazing colour payoff. Because these eyeshadows are a little bit more powdery, what I would suggest is, again, not setting your base, just like what Plouise does and what she recommends, because they are that little bit more powdery. I imagine if you powder your eyelid a lot, they won't stick. So just keep that in mind if you are going to use this palette. Again, that's not an issue, that just means you don't have to use as much product. You've seen throughout the tutorial, they literally just came out so pigmented. It was insane. But yeah, overall I am super impressed with these eyeshadows, super impressed with this palette. All these colours just scream Plouise to me. When I think of Plouise and their creative, colourful looks, these colours are exactly what I think of. So huge congrats to Plouise on this palette. It's absolutely amazing. I'm definitely going to be reaching for it an awful lot. They're so vibrant and just so colourful. Everything that you would associate Plouise with. So huge congrats to Plouise on this. You deserve every success. You've worked your ass off for this. And I'm so happy that I was basically able to watch it from nearly the beginning. I don't know the exact details of when this palette is going to be released. You can head over to Plouise's page. I'm sure you can find out more details of it there. If I do find anything, I will leave it down below. Otherwise, head over to her page. She'll have all the details over there. Let me know down below what you think. What do you think of the palette? Are you going to purchase it? Do you follow Plouise? All product details down below for you guys. And there will be photographs and whatnot on my Instagram as well. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos and whatnot. I've been whipping out a lot of videos recently. I'm on my YouTube game this year. Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.